steroids was a... Welcome to the room.
Hi.
I'm going to smile into the camera for a moment. When steroids was a
What
big...
are you wearing?
Are you naked? Okay, when steroids was a big deal, I got you.
In the 80s in like professional wrestling, they sent those motherfuckers to jail. Like Vince McMahon actually did jail time.
Oh, I remember that.
So why is it that
But
this
that was sports entertainment.
But but you don't go to jail for sports entertainment guidelines.
Right.
It's not like the law means something different for sports entertainment people.
So in other words, why is A-Rod not in jail right now for breaking the law?
Or Barry Bonds or any of these people.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Are
you know,
these? I'm confused on this then because these are illegal substances.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. It's just like weed or coke or anything else.
I thought they were legal substances, but banned in the sport.
Well, I'm wondering if it's a thing of like, you know, maybe they're not in jail because, you know, it's somebody's word against their word. You know, the police don't have solid evidence of them injecting themselves or...
Well, here's the part that I don't understand is because...
Or it's the same thing if you go to pass a piss test and you fail, you're not going to go to jail.
If you have a sesame seed bun, you know,
well, I mean, there's that question too, but like apparently here's how I understand it is that apparently I don't know, a couple of years ago, A-Rod and all of Major League Baseball, as soon as this thing is enacted, they have tests, right, on every single player. A-Rod fails the test.
So do 102 other people.
Yes. Now, if you're aware of people engaging in an illegal activity and you cover it up, aren't you somewhat liable?
See, I'm still not clear that this is an illegal activity.
It is.
I
swear to God, it is.
But
well, is it the steroids are illegal?
They are.
Now? Is it illegal to inject steroids?
Without a prescription.
Because it's illegal to have pot and it's
different.
Also illegal to smoke pot. You know, both those things are illegal.
Got it, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But wait a minute, Vicodin's not illegal.
Yes, but it is illegal
If you don't have a prescription.
Right.
Okay.
That's a controlled substance.
Right.
It's called I think it's called gray market. Like you have black market, you have normal open air market, and then you have the gray market, which is this if you don't have a prescription. Like for example, if there have been plenty of people that have been busted for having human growth hormone.
HGH.
That kind of thing. There's been a lot of people busted for that. And they go to jail because you shouldn't be doing that because you don't have a prescription for it. So steroids are exactly the same thing. Like Wisterol, and they use it on racehorses too. But if you use it on yourself, then it's
bad.
Bad.
Okay.
So it's not.
So the substance is not illegal. It's how it's used.
Yes, but it's just.
Let's just call it a controlled substance. That's what it is. It's like Vicodin.
If you want to get into that, you do know that they prescribe cocaine to people.
Right.
So that's also an illegal substance. You know what I mean? So like my question is that in the event that these guys didn't have prescriptions, they don't have this, why is it that Major League Baseball, why isn't Bud Selig going to jail like Vince McMahon did?
I don't know.
Discuss.
Because Vince McMahon, I can answer that question. Probably because Vince McMahon went to jail for supplying. He supplied the wrestlers.
No, he didn't supply.
That was one of the things they were trying to get him with. That's why the whole thing started, because all the wrestlers said, "Well, Vince made us do it."
No, that's not supplying. That's saying
that's demanding.
That's demanding.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, still, Vince McMahon knew.
Vince encouraged it.
Yeah, it was encouraged, and he knew it was going on. And didn't stop it.
So did Bud Selig.
This guy, did he know for a fact it was going on? Was he encouraging it, or
everybody knew
afterwards? Afterwards, did he know it was going on?
Everybody knew it was going on. It was a headline in the New York Times, and Giambi came out looking like a fucking looking like King Kong. So,
well, it still all goes back to proof. You know, when that Vince McMahon thing going on, they had a lot of fucking proof and built a case around it and everything else.
I'd say a positive test is pretty good proof.
That's proof that one player injected steroids. That
102.
Okay, that's proof that 102 players injected steroids. That doesn't prove where they got it, where they associated with it. Did they do it at home? Yeah. Did they do it one time? Is it a regular thing? You know, that doesn't really prove anything. The only thing that proves is that 102 players injected steroids.
Got it. I can tell you that the purist friend of mine, I said that to him. So baseball had this proof that all these players did it, and they covered it up. Because, well, they didn't cover it up. They went to the union and tried to get the union to agree to more aggressive testing, and the union fought it until Congress stepped in.
So that's the question.
And at that point, because quite honestly, steroid use in sports has never really been my thing.
Yeah,
I was drawing squares in my head.
and I'm with you on that because of course it's kind of stupid. But like in the event that we're going to have this discussion, and if we're going to have this huge moral outrage among the purists, why is it that we're not saying, okay, why aren't the union guys going to jail for it? Why isn't Bud Selig, who when everybody knew this was going on, why are those people not being investigated? And it just seems strange. Why would you only go after Barry Bonds?
Why do you think?
I think it's hypocrisy. I think it's bullshit, and I think they should go to jail. Yeah.
I think baseball,
but why do you think they're not, though? I mean, I agree. I think, if Vince McMahon went to jail, they should. But
who's harmed?
It has to be a thing of case. They couldn't have built a case or didn't have interest in it or something.
But who's harmed by A-Rod doing steroids?
Nobody.
Where's the harm?
The other players. Because keep in mind, A-Rod.
So what? They're all making millions.
The guys,
and you know what? Quite frankly, you should have juiced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the circumstances were the same for everybody.
Yeah, and in my opinion, you know what? If you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to destroy your body and play a sport anyway, fucking juice and give me a good game. I want to see home runs.
But if we're talking about that they're encouraged to do illegal things, like, my point is this, is like, why is it with the radio guys that just say the slightest thing have their entire careers ruined, and there's a lot of guys that haven't worked since after that shit. Well, I'm one of them. You say one thing and your entire career is fucked, why is it that's okay, but these guys can get away with this shit? I think that's wrong.
$1 million lawyers.
Yeah,
but that's wrong. That's
lawyers.
Absolutely wrong.
It was wrong. There's a lot of things that are wrong in this country, but let's face it, when it comes to the judicial side of it and the law side of it and going to court and all that shit, money talks.
Yeah, right.
Period.
Okay.
The highest paid lawyers win. And quite frankly, these guys got nothing but money. If you really want to know the answer, why nobody's going to jail and why nobody's getting in trouble, because of damn good lawyers.
And I don't think anyone's harmed. I don't see the harm in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see.
And I also think that
I think for a crime to truly be a crime, there has to be a victim.
Yeah.
And in this instance, who's the victim? Who's harmed?
And then,
some fucking kid who's looking for a hero. That's your dad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I would also like to point out that say you did take all this to trial and you took all these 102 fucking baseball players to trial and you fought it and everything else, there would be so many people more pissed than there are right now because of the money that the government is spending trying to put these idiots in jail with these $1 million lawyers that they're going to keep it tied up in court for 20 fucking years. Mm-hmm. And, by the time it gets settled, it don't matter because the juicer's dead.
Right.
Well, and meanwhile, the government spent a shit ton of money. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then we're going to debate for the next 25 years whether or not A-Rod should go to the Hall of Fame.
Well, hold on.
Just like Pete Rose.
But here's what you say about who's the victim. The victim is this. The victim is the other players that didn't make the money. If you take a guy like A-Rod and you basically say to him...
But they're not real victims, Eric.
Yeah, they
How
are.
Because they victimized. They still got their salary. They still had a job. They still ate. There was no harm that became.
But
it's not like
maybe their record in that newspaper is a little different than it would have been if they had juiced or if A-Rod hadn't. Yeah. But are they really victims here? I don't think so.
And let me point this out too. If you're not one of the $1 million contract players, injecting steroids is not injecting talent.
Yeah,
I don't know, bro. I
yes, I think it takes you. I think it makes you stronger, faster, better. But you still have to have the natural ability, which is, A-Rod, take him off steroids, he's not going to be a sucky baseball player.
He is now. He can't hit a ball. Think of it this way. There's people say that you can't inject talent. Well, that's not entirely true. There's actually
I just said it. Must be true.
No,
I got a mic.
It's not true. It's funny because that's the thing is that they actually say that some of those steroids can improve timing. So,
yeah, they timing and they'll make you faster. I'll agree with that.
They can improve talent.
Yeah.
But they can't inject talent.
Right.
In other words, I'm not going to get on a steroid and play outfield for the freaking Tigers.
Never going to happen.
You're right.
It's not going to happen.
But you're talking about a guy, A-Rod, who is the highest paid player in the history of the game.
So George Steinbrenner is the victim.
Yeah, well,
if you want to tell me George Steinbrenner's a victim,
I'll agree.
Okay.
I'm talking about what about the other 31 shortstops that didn't take it. The ones that didn't take it, so they decided they were gonna preserve their health rather than endanger it by taking steroids.
Well, then they have an issue with HR down at the Yankees.
That's my thing. So why the fuck don't you go and take the union people?
How do you know?
Really, the union people are the ones that should be taken to jail.
Wait. How do you know for a fact that one of those 104 players was not second in charge or the second string? Whatever to him.
Doesn't matter.
Because he was juicing too, so they were both juicing, but it comes down to he was better on juice than the other guy was on juice. So nobody gets hurt.
None of that matters. That doesn't matter.
It's just the fact that this one player took it.
I think it's all between the union and the ball clubs, and it's all self-contained, and the only victims are the people that work for each other.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all a big HR. It's just like if I'm at work and I do something that is inappropriate,
right?
And someone wants to act like they're victimized, like Carson grabbing my thigh,
yeah.
And I decide I want to go down to HR and have an issue, or let's say something even more benign.
Yeah.
Let's say I get ripped off a vacation day.
Okay.
All right. Am I a victim? Yeah, I'm victimized from a vacation day, but it's still an agreement I have between the employer and the employee, and it's between us. It's certainly not a reason for as taxpayers to pay to put somebody in jail.
You're right, but then again, taxpayers are putting people in jail for all kinds of crazy reasons that I don't agree with.
Well,
I mean,
we're not talking about all
so
that.
let's not add to the list.
Obviously that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that we shouldn't. I don't necessarily think that A-Rod should go to jail.
No,
that's not necessarily the thing. But I think that the union guy should definitely go.
Why?
Because that's the guy that allowed this system to exist. He was making players.
Then he should be voted out of office by the union.
Yeah.
I think it's a union matter, not a criminal matter.
And is it the one union guy responsible for all 104 players, or we just focusing on A-Rod?
All of them. I think he's responsible for all the players.
Then he should get fired or something.
But
I don't think because at the end of the day, even though he was covering it up, he still had no control over what they were doing. They were going to do it whether he covered it up or not.
But
they
specifically went into negotiations by saying they didn't want these drug testing standards.
Right. Sure,
they specifically said that.
And he was trying to cover up for the players because he knew what they were doing. That is his job.
Right, that's his job.
That is his job to make sure the players get everything they can get they get the most for the least amount of work, more or less.
He's not the constable.
So,
but shouldn't he also have
if
a
the players
responsibility
came
to the players
to him,
that aren't taking it?
If the players came to him and said, "Look, we're taking drugs. We don't want to take a drug test," he can say, "You guys are fucking idiots. I don't want to do that. You shouldn't take drugs. Blah 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 blah. Fuck you. You're a rep. You're gonna tell it we don't want this drug testing." And the guys that weren't taking steroids might have been going, well, if that goes through, we don't have to get drug testing. I'm so juicing because the only reason I'm not is because I'm scared of getting caught.
Or even better, who benefits when A-Rod gets taken down? That guy playing AAA ball or AA ball? Everybody, all of baseball does well when A-Rod does well. So it's in the union's best interest to keep A-Rod propped up.
Because he's a superstar.
Or
because
he's
a face
the face of the game.
Face of baseball.
Or do other guys get more chances to play when A-Rod's taken out because he's a cheater?
Other guys do, but they're not as good. Even if you take another guy that
A-Rod's never won a championship.
that's what I'm saying though. But you take a guy off that you take A-Rod off. What's to say the next guy that comes up that is takes his place ain't one of the 104 that is juicing too?
Or go back to the regular workplace. Who amongst us hasn't worked somewhere where we were denied an opportunity for a promotion because we weren't buddy with the boss?
That's life.
That's life. Are we going to bring in an investigative panel for that too? That would be unfair to me. If I'm not a sycophant of a general manager,
right?
I don't get a promotion. Does that make it illegal?
That's wildly different than
somebody
taking illegal steroids. I think that's a very big difference because especially when you consider what steroids can do to you. It's gonna.
That's your choice, though. That's like personal choice.
It's gonna sound like Brian spilling his water when the guy sneezes for the rest of his life.
That's his choice, though. That is his choice to do what he wants with his body.
Kids at Hurley Health and Fitness do steroids, and come on.
Yeah, but they're not incentivized to do it. They're not incentivized.
So what?
Let's keep that in mind.
There was no incentive to do steroids either for him.
Yeah, there was $100 million in contracts. Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Sammy Sosa,
but you
Mark
know what?
McGwire.
Who's to say they wouldn't have got that without it?
They didn't, because as soon as they stopped taking them, their bodies went went a lot smaller. Mark McGwire never hit that many home runs until he took steroids. Barry Bonds was a third baseman and was Mr. Put It Off the Wall. He never hit it out of the park until steroids.
So then watch a movie.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, seriously.
If you don't like good sports, if you don't like the juice, and if that's the big problem, don't pay attention to it.
The three of us are awful when it comes to debating because none of us like fucking baseball.
No, it's boring.
That's true.
We do have that issue here because at the end of the day, I can fucking debate this. I can debate this all the way to the corner, and then both of you will be like, "Well, fuck it, do something else."
I'd rather watch paint dry than watch a baseball game. I could give a shit.
I understand completely. Although. I guarantee you, Brian, that it would be a little different if it turned out that the Cowboys all took steroids.
Well,
lock them up.
They absolutely all take steroids because they're cheaters. But the point is, when you go running off at halftime, you
wanted Bill Belichick in the goddamn, you wanted him out of fucking football because he's a cheater.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I think you did. You were like, I hate the Patriots. They're cheaters.
That's because they run the score up. That's different than the silly shit with the camera and the
cameras.
The week after your team got beat, you were like, they're cheaters. I don't like them. They play dirty. Well, here's Alex Rodriguez playing dirty.
Yeah, but you know what? Every team he plays, I guarantee you, there's at least one or two on there juicing too, so it's probably even.
Absolutely. Well, you never know that.
Football.
That's what I'm saying though. If you got that many fucking people juicing, then chances are there's one or two on every team, so it probably all equals out anyway.
Football, you get injured in the first half, they run you into the locker room, you get a shot, you're back out there in the second half.
Yep.
And everyone thinks it's a great idea. What's the difference?
Fair enough.
Again, no victim.
Okay.
Personally,
except for the people that do play by the
Oh,
rules.
fuck them, man.
Personally,
Fuck off.
I think they should just shut baseball down altogether.
I do too.
Just
it was
fucking
great.
shut it down.
Remember that strike year? It was great.
Yeah, it was. Just shut it down and
damn it.
give them a pigskin, and let's make a new sport.
We don't want the kill baseball.
Fuck it. You guys can't figure out the juicing thing. You're done.
Yeah.
It's like when you're a kid and you're playing with a toy. You can't play nice. You're done.
Right.
Same
done.
thing.
Yeah.
You're done.
You can't play with the juice. Give it back.
Yep. You're done.
What was the purist thing? What was his argument? What does he think? Should A-Rod be what's his deal?
He thinks his point is, and I think it's a good one, that baseball's got to come out and say, okay, this is how we will be handling it. This is what's going to happen, if anything, to A-Rod. This is what's going to happen, if anything, to the 103 people who were tested positive 6 years ago.
Yeah.
This is what we think should happen with the union, although it's ultimately not their decision. And more importantly, because this is what everyone's worried about. What they're worried about is not the victims. They're not worried about that shortstop in Poughkeepsie that got denied a chance to play in the majors.
No, they're not.
They're worried about the fucking records.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
worried
I know.
about the
That is
stats.
retarded.
And that shows you what a chicken
Should there be an
sport that is.
asterisk? There
Right.
should be an asterisk.
I mean,
Fuck you.
I mean, who looks at stats?
I have 2 points. What's an asterisk? And
What are they called?
it's an asterisk. But or is it isk? It's either X or isk.
I don't know.
I hope we get a job in the South. Then I'll always be right.
It's true.
But no, it's
He'll be called up. Oh, he said it right.
Listen, the King's English doesn't change no matter what fucking region you're in, except for my
disagree.
girlfriend who argues colloquialism. But
They always do when they start.
yeah, it's. I get into all these debates with her about local colloquialisms.
Yeah, sorry, honey. I love your girlfriend. She's great.
Yeah.
She couldn't be any wrong.
Yeah, it's colloquialisms don't hold no water.
Nope.
Fair enough. Then shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, but you have to understand that is a big deal in baseball, Carson. It really is.
Oh, I know.
because
Oh,
it's
God,
such
no.
a
I know.
boring
Trust
sport.
me, I know.
You go to a baseball game and the announcer is talking in code, for Christ's sake.
Well, not only that-
164.
That's because there's these fucking people out in the crowd that are keeping score.
They write it down.
Yeah,
oh,
It's
yeah.
so
What the hell
crazy.
is
And they go home and blog about it.
Yeah.
Oh shit! They
Well, the announcer said in the third inning his batting average was
Tell you
348,
something,
but actually it's 347
Got
with
it.
an asterisk.
Exactly, and I guarantee you that there's a guy with the files of the entire everything.
Yeah, his name's Ralph.
Yeah. Oh, they have those even people crazier than him.
Yeah. I don't. It's the sport. I don't know. So
I just when I first went to a baseball game and I realized it was boring was when I found out that there's numbers. It's a 1, 6, 5,
and that's
4.
the other thing is, most sports are like, I didn't really like hockey until I went to a game, or I never really got into college football until I went to a game. It's really fun. Or wow, I really had a hard time actually seeing the cars at first when I went to a NASCAR. It's much faster in real life. But baseball, it's even more boring in life. At least on TV, there's commercials.
But I will say this: the only way I can watch a baseball game all the way through is if I go to the stadium and watch it, because they got big ass glasses of beer.
That's it.
And you're allowed to scream and be loud and obnoxious as you want to be.
Right.
Like you can do that a little bit at the football game.
Right.
But I mean, you can get vulgarly like "fucking you suck, you go home," and it's fine in baseball.
Right. Yeah.
They'll
no one's
drag your ass out of Ford Field for that shit.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah. Well.
I've attempted that a couple of times. I'm sick of following these bums all the time.
Your Matt Millen must-go hat, or
it's Fire Millen.
Fire Millen.
Actually,
Yeah,
it's
Fire
done,
Millen.
and it's done with a.
Yeah.
Oh, I was there for all those, man. Oof. I've been there every year.
This is the first year I didn't go to a game. This is the first year I never didn't make it down to a game.
We had great seats.
You
We
didn't
went down.
miss a thing. Trust me.
We went down and saw
And
the
you know-
Redskins.
0-16.
You know what's funny though is
Ugh.
every year since we started in the 97-1 for the last 3-4 years, and me and Eric has always made it the point to go to a game together. And we were going to go this year, and then we got fired. But we always made it to a game together, and never ever once have we been down there and watched them lose.
Yeah. Well, that's
When
why
we're
we haven't
together.
been. That's why we weren't there this year.
Yeah.
Asshole.
If we'd have went, they might have won one. Who knows?
It's you, because he was there.
Fucking
I
bums.
was
Yeah,
there.
he was there. Yeah.
Bums. No, I really think it was the lack of running game, passing game, or defensive strategy that was probably led to the 0-16.
I think it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with me.
It's because
I like me.
Fucking Marinelli. Yeah, let's get Martz out of there. Yeah, that's a good move.
You're a Lions fan. Get me a season ticket, bitches. They'll always win at home.
Way to go. Fucking hire your goddamn son-in-law to be the defensive coordinator. That was the problem. Assholes.
So anybody see the 500 on Sunday?
No.
Once
Hell of
again,
a race.
I tried to watch. Here's what happened. So every year I try to watch the Daytona 500, especially since I've known you for 6 or 7 years
Yeah.
now, and so I always try to get into NASCAR, and I'll watch a few races like it'll be on. But of course, Daytona's the big one because it's the first one.
Oh, God,
And the
yeah.
same thing. This happened last year. Last year I watched the beginning of the race, and when you weren't in the office the next day, I turned to Eric and I went, "Eric, did you watch the race?" And you're like, "Yeah, I think I watched part of it because you were trying to get into it too." And I go, there's this guy that
There was
yelled,
a NASCAR segment I had to at least
This-
sort of
yeah.
know something about.
this guy, I think I heard this guy yell something like boogity. And
Oh,
Eric goes-
God, yeah.
Eric goes, yeah, he does that. Now, I didn't think twice about it, and I never watched the beginning of a race. So, Sunday I flip on channel, whatever channel it's on, and I'm ready to go, Fox. I'm ready to go, and I see just as the race is starting, I'm like, oh, this is great. And then sure enough, I heard it again. This guy goes, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Let's go racing, boys!
So so you know what I did? I Googled it. I'm like, I got to
Darryl Waltrip, NASCAR champion.
Darryl Waltrip starts every race by saying,
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
are you fucking serious? Are you fucking kidding me?
He started it whenever he got on, whenever Fox took over, whenever he started doing it. And I remember the first time I ever heard it. I believe I was hanging out with Eric for that year for the 500. He came over because I make hot wings every year. And I heard it and the room was silent. And everybody was just like,
Looking at you like, what the hell?
and I'm like, I don't know.
Fuck this, I'm going to the bar.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just, it's like, okay, NASCAR has a thing where everybody thinks it's redneck enough,
Yeah.
and for years and
No.
years they've been trying to break out of that, right? And then they put this dumb fuck on goddamn TV half a damn season that starts the race boogity, boogity, boogity. And what do the NASCAR fans do? They fucking make signs about it. They love it so much.
And listen,
Sheep.
Give me a fucking break.
I've cheered, I've yelled, I've stubbed my toe, and never has the word boogity
No.
crossed my mind, let alone to say it, string it along 3 times.
3 times. And it's the start of every race, and
Yeah.
it makes me cringe. This year, I actually did not watch the start of the Daytona 500. I walked in the other room when they were coming to the green and fucked around for a few minutes and came back about halfway through the first lap.
It's only cool
I
that-
did not want to hear him say it.
It's only cool to say boogity boogity boo if you're stuffing a fucking pillow over a hooker's face as she dies.
Oh man! Oh, there There you have it.
Boogity, boogity, boo! Just feel that last breath coming out while she's still on your
God.
cock.
Oh, Eric.
Well, I will say though, if I was so fucking disappointed this year. It got rained
They
out.
stopped it. And what's this
Yeah.
competition delay thing? What's that?
What?
They had a competition yellow at lap 25. That's where it lost me.
That's because when it rains real hard and they don't get practice, they don't know how long their tires will last. So they throw a competition yellow so you can't lose your spot.
See, I don't think Carol Yarborough and
safety
Richard
thing.
Petty ever did this shit.
Fuck no.
Who were those two guys that were slugging each other out on the third
That
turn?
was Donnie and Davey Allison,
Yeah,
or
they
the
didn't have-
Allisons and somebody. I can't
You
remember.
never
who it
heard
was.
them talk about tires and
No.
a competition delay.
No.
You know what they
No.
did? They threw the moonshine out on the last warm-up lap.
Go get it.
And then they raced.
Yep. Damn right. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it was.
And
too.
they called it stock car.
Yeah. By the way, I did see in the beginning of the pregame what a fucking apparently the economy has hit NASCAR
Oh, God.
harder than any other sport. Apparently, you know how Daytona 500, you can't get a ticket.
You can't get it for years and years in advance.
It was the night before. I saw that.
till this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was
They cut ticket prices. Yeah, I seen a thing. This was earlier
and this
in the week.
has never happened.
No, but they had the president of Daytona, the Speedway there, and tickets. They cut them more or less in half.
Wow.
On a lot of tickets, like the cheap tickets last year was going for $85 a ticket, and that's like right up against the fence. You really can't see anything. Crappy tickets, $25 a ticket this year. And 2 days before the race was not sold out. They were expecting to get the sellout on the day of the race.
Yeah.
For walk up.
And the big,
Wow.
and of
You
course,
fucking kidding me.
You know about the big about the infield thing. Apparently, there was like half
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
usually
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Did you
it.
hear how many people lost their job, or whatever that word is means altogether?
Cumulatively?
Yeah, throughout the NASCAR teams over the off season.
How many?
1,100 people.
Wow.
That is like fucking
Clear Channel.
20 teams.
Yeah, that is Clear Channel,
Yeah.
and that's gonna
That
be
is 20 race teams, dude.
Wow.
Like
And
that's what's funny. People ask me, today
Yeah.
they're like, "So, do you ever regret not being in racing right now?" I'm like, "Dude, I'd be in the same fucking spot. At least I get to do a podcast doing this."
Right, you wouldn't have this. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guarantee I'd probably be one of those 1,100 out of work. I mean, it got everybody.
And
one of my friends kept their job. One
it'll be even more
out of the 7 I know down there.
It'll
still.
be even more now that they've, because I don't think that they were. I imagine they were cutting people, anticipating the fact that there was going to be less, tickets, sponsorships is what I mean, because a lot of that sport is advertising.
Yep.
But I guarantee you there'll be probably more cuts now. They realize that they don't even have people in the stands, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter to the race teams. That matters to the race tracks. That's how they pay the persons and stuff like that. As far as the team, the sponsors go, they're done for the year. They got that check. They got their sponsor money for the
okay.
year. So I mean, fucking,
I was gonna
Office
say-
Depot can go out of business. It's still going to be on the 14 car for the rest of the year because he's already got that check.
I was going to say, because I was wondering if those people would be pulling out at that point. There'd be less advertising in there, so
Wouldn't it be
that'd
funny-
be even
wouldn't it
more
be
of a
funny
It's
if
problem.
all
you saw,
TV.
like, if you saw
It ain't
these-
the people in the stands. It's TV.
Wouldn't it be funny though if you saw like these cars racing in like an old billboard, like they had to white out,
Yes.
the M&M
Yes.
logo because they pulled out.
You noticed us.
Exactly.
Like just
Advertising works.
Somebody
Some
came
race,
by
huh?
with like spray paint and just fucking spray painted white over it. Fuck them. They're not paying us.
That'd be funny.
But the ending sucked, man. They just started racing good, and it rained, and they got lights there, and it started raining like 6 o'clock, and I really thought they were going to wait it out and race the damn thing. They waited like 15 minutes and called it. I was so pissed.
Okay.
It just had to got good. And now California this week, which is a horrible race.
And it's like I heard that I've been listening to a lot of sports radio, talk radio, and the guy filling in for Jim Rome on, I don't know his name, but an ESPN guy on Monday made a great point. He's like, why did they have to call it early? Like, so race today. He goes, so you're telling me you're going to get a better audience for Judge Judy, Judge Roland,
Yeah.
the Fat Judge, and some other daytime talk show on Fox, as opposed to the Daytona 500.
Right.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I mean,
Ridiculous.
it's cool. Matt Kenseth won it. It's first time Roush has won the 500. That team, Roush in general, any team of Roush has ever won it. So that was cool for that. But I was so disappointed. I really thought one of them petty cars had a shot at it. Like Allmendinger in the petty car finished third, which is probably the best Daytona 500 finish the petties had in probably 10, 15 years.
Wow.
Which was really cool. They had 3 cars in the top 10. Which last year they were lucky to make races. So that's really
Do
cool
any
to
of
see
the
the petty
Petties
cars.
drive anymore?
Nope. Kyle was the last one left, and then Kyle's son, who's actually a good friend of mine, he was. It must have skipped a generation, is what everybody said, because Kyle sucks as a driver, but his dad, Richard, the king. Well, Adam
was decent.
Yeah, he was decent. Adam, he only raced Busch cars. He never made it the Cup, but he was just fucking an amazing talent. Like, everybody thought that was the next Richard Petty. And then he ended up getting killed. He hit the wall at Loudon and killed him instantly. But yeah, so
I didn't know that.
yeah, yep.
Whatever, Debbie Downer.
Yeah, whatever. So that was the end of the Petty
I'm having
Petty
a Family
legacy.
Guy moment right now. Okay.
Okay. By the way, have you ever noticed he really talks fast whenever he starts talking NASCAR?
Yeah, I know. Does Lisa follow this stuff yet?
Oh God, yeah, she loves it.
Good thing.
Loves it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
She knows more about the stats and like how many wins this driver got and when his last win was and all that. She knows
Which one's
all
on steroids?
Yeah, she knows all that.
All right, let's wrap this up, guys.
All right.
All right.
Oh, I should have ended on the hooker joke. That was really fun. I enjoyed myself.
You can always go back and edit it for the later viewer.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, just put the NASCAR ahead of the hooker stuff.
and then end it on the hooker shit.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, let's get out of here.
And you feel her last breath.
Tuesday, we'll be back. Bye.
Oh, look, here you go.